Good morning. Um, it hasn't really been a very good start. I had a rather difficult night and a painful morning, but my pills have actually kicked in fairly quickly. Well, today is the 30th anniversary of John's and our relationship. 30 years is astonishing. Um, I don't really know what to say. I really don't. 1981, July the 7th. And we're still together. And we've been together from the very first moment we met. It was quite simply a case of love at first sight. And it has worked. And no, it hasn't been easy for either of us. He's had an awful lot to deal with me. Because as you know, if you've read my blog or heard any of these things, you know, I had a very difficult background and therefore was a very difficult, complicated and damaged person. However, I firmly believe that without his love and support I would not have become who I am today. He believes that if it wasn't him it would have been somebody else, but he's the only real man I've ever met. No offence to the men I do know, but I obviously don't know them well enough to make that sort of judgment. But the significant men in my life, my father and other family members, definitely were not men. They were not grown up at all and did not have the qualities of steadfastness and loyalty and support and love and all the things that John has and has given me unwaveringly for the last 30 years. He isn't without his difficulties, but I suppose they pale compared to mine, and I know that I have been far more difficult to live with than he has. But he's still here, and neither of us could really imagine life without the other. If I'm honest, the thought terrifies me, because I feel totally alone with only him as my safety. Safety is not the right word, but he's home. He's home. And the thought of my home not being there is, well, we're going out for dinner on Saturday night. We're going to the Plate and Porter, which is a very good restaurant here in March. And we're very lucky to have a place like this here. You wouldn't expect to have a place like that here, but we have. It really is it's a proper restaurant. I mean, we won't come away with much less than £100 bill. But the food is excellent. I've never had a bum meal there yet. It remains to be seen whether I have a pudding or not. Do I starve myself between now and Saturday and make a pig of myself Saturday night? I don't think so. But we shall see. Now, I published a piece on a news item on my Facebook about this Bachmann woman and her husband. And I said that these people really challenge my belief that people are not inherently evil. I do believe that both she and her husband are evil, or rather what they think is, and how they think and how they behave and everything they stand for. And they're evil because their mind is closed. And a closed mind, to me, is evil because it just can't be changed. And therefore it can't be open to forgiveness, which is just correction of one's thinking. You know, how can anything come into your mind if it's closed? If you're totally, absolutely convinced that you're right, then basically well, we're all fucked really by people who think like that. All you have to do is look at the wars that we've had. Look at Osama bin Laden, Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, Margaret Thatcher. I mean, not that she did those things, but she still fell because she believed she was absolutely right and never for one moment considered that she wasn't. And that's really the problem. Whatever we think and believe, we have to always be aware that we could be wrong, and we take note of evidence that's there or not there that may alter or temper our thinking about something. The other thing that has really infuriated me has been the reaction to this, is it Casey Andrews? She's been found not guilty of murdering her child. And the amount of really vile stuff I have read from people who weren't in the court, who weren't in the jury, who basically want her convicted and dead. I think, well, you know, life hasn't changed that much. I mean, a few hundred years ago they went and watched people get executed and women be burned at the stake because of fucking gossip. And that's what these people want. And this sick thing about lighting a bloody lamp for the child, it's all bollocks. It's all just there to... Sorry, I'm getting really angry about this. I know from experience that this is just pure sentimentality from people who really don't give a toss. And they don't give a toss because children can be abused right under their nose and they take no notice. And if you really do care about children who are abused, then you would care about people like me as an adult whose life is so affected still because of it. And I know from experience that most people don't give a shit. Health professionals included. You know, all you want is to vent your hatred and your dissatisfaction onto somebody other than yourself. And quite often, people who have been abused, who are unhappy in their family or their relationship, instead of recognising that and doing something about it, they wrap all that hatred and anger and hurt up and fling it onto somebody else that they don't even know. Which is why groups of people hate other groups of people. It's why the Phelps children hate gays and other people who don't think that way, because they can't face the fact that they have parents who don't love them. And clearly they don't. People who abuse their children do not love them. Get that through your bloody head. I'm sick to death of hearing that. Oh, they must have loved you really. They must have loved you somewhere. Fuck off, they didn't. Love is an action, it's not a feeling. If you truly love somebody, or you love people, you show it in the way that you treat them. It's not an abstract idea, and it is an action. It's like these people who say they love their dogs and they keep them caged. They don't love their dogs at all. Oh, who knew I was going to be so stroppy this morning? But, well, I get pissed off sometimes. And, oh dear. I guess it pisses me off, you know, that a 30-year anniversary, if we were a straight couple, would be being celebrated by others. And it isn't being. I've had a couple of congratulations and it's not considered important because it's not considered real. Well, more fool you. Because I tell you what, I have more than most of you have. You know, a 30-year marriage is not to be sniffed at. Anyway, that's my stroppy words for today, and I do wish you well despite it. Bye.